So I have to address it one more time. One more time because I read the comments a little carefully and I just want to address this idiot um who goes by the YouTube username Black Rabbit, and she was trying to get at me that, oh, I'm wrong, I'm an idiot. Black nerds were wanted and respected. And I was like, no, they weren't. No, they weren't. See, it's ironic now that they're champing up black men now. Once I kind of subdivide the category, but black nerds were not respected. You know, they were not wanted. She tries to go off by saying like, okay, during the 80s from present, black nerds were wanted and respected. The fuck they weren't. They were thrown in locker rooms. They got their heads smashed in and shit. Do you watch like the shows from the 80s and the movies, and do you know how bad bullying was back in the day, especially in black schools? Shoot, you watch shows like Everybody Hate Chris, and you see how bad Caruso beat him up, and he was in a diverse school. Schools weren't treating black kids with respect. They weren't treating them with with any kind of kindness. But let's just kind of talk more on the subject that she brought up. She was talking about how in the 80s to present, in the diverse schools she went to, she was talking about there was a like a hierarchy of cool people to date. So in these diverse schools for elementary school, most people's top choice were black. Black nerds were praised. And she put this. They were praised as heroes for collecting cool Pokemon cards. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. You know how stupid that sounds. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Some kids, they were into Pokemon, stuff like that. But black nerds were not respected during those early years in school, from the 80s to even the mid millenniums, which I was in. They weren't treated, with respect. You know, I can imagine, those kids being cool and respected, like from pre-K to third grade. Those kids will be treated right. But by the time they're in the fourth grade, you know, those kids aren't the cool kids. They beat up the kids playing the Pokemon. They take his book bag and you know they throw it in the girls' bathroom and they run, shit like that. So I don't know where she comes off thinking that like, what school did you go to where like nerds were the top commodity and people were dying to get with nerds, even in white school. I really don't even see that. Like, who were these people dying to be with the nerds? And then for middle school, she said, I wrote it down. Middle school, the top choices were black and Asian. Uh, these were the nerds and jocks. Top food chain to date, because they travel and cool anime collection. Really, really, people kind of get kind of too old for playing with toys by the time you're in middle school. To be honest with you, I'm just saying. So girls don't even play with toys like that. And to me, it's kind of embarrassing if a girl saw her boyfriend or a guy she liked playing with toys, or still doing kid shit. Most middle schoolers want to try adult things or just kind of imagine what it's like doing real, I wouldn't say real adult things, but like, yeah, teenage things. They're dabbling into sex, drugs, money, going out late, being defiant. I don't see. where these Yu-Gi-Oh card collecting motherfuckers would fit in. So yet I have to question, what school did you go to? And then for high school, she was saying that um, where is it? For high school, the top choices were black and white, jocks, nerds, and goth. That don't even sound realistic. The gothic kids. Who finds them attractive? Even in a white school, who finds them, like a top choice? I don't even see how you have jocks and nerds like on the same level. That's crazy. This school she describes is these schools she describes are jokes. They're a joke. I couldn't even take her seriously, and I posted like one more response, and I was saying like, hey, um, I said something about, yeah, I go to a ghetto school because she was trying to make fun of me about like, you must have went to a ghetto school infested with rats and cockroaches, and yeah, I did. These were black schools, majority. I also, one thing that she did was she played the semantics about there's no such thing as a black school. There's private, public, and some other shit I don't remember. And she playing those semantics. Unless you're talking about HBCUs, but most schools were diverse. It's like, shut up. No, they weren't. She tried to play with these dumbass semantics, and then she was talking about. I made a response saying, yeah, I went to a black school in the ghetto. I went to a school in the ghetto, and yeah, of course, these black schools had poor infrastructure. They were ridiculously old because usually they don't, there's no maintenance, and it's been left sitting there. The paint's been sitting there molding, and there hasn't been any work done since the 70s. These schools were very old back in the day. They were rarely retouched. They'll probably put paint, and then that's it. That was the closest thing to being new, in those schools. And she's trying to bullshit me, and I was saying, yeah, I went to these schools, and the thing was that even though the majority of the people that I went to school with were immature bad boys and wannabe thugs, they had the greatest amount of love for dark-skinned women. So I don't see where black women are complaining and crying about they get no validation, to where it's like, you go to a black school and you're surrounded by black people. You don't have time to be picky. I didn't see girls complaining. I even saw unattractive girls that were dark or any complexion getting the guy, getting pregnant, good or bad. They were getting love and affection that they wanted. And the thing is, I have the question is, why do we let these people who are not from the black community, these black people who are not from the black community, who don't represent the black community, who don't even like the black community, why are they talking for us? And that's the problem that I have. I don't like them, talking about the black community and about how black men are not treating black women right. So if my end's good, I'm pretty sure her end's not, because since her school is diverse, you know her school must have like a lot of coons, and those brothers in her school probably ain't dating black women. They probably think it's the last option, you know. So they are probably the coons in your school. She's probably talking about niggas in her school, her diverse school. You ain't talking about niggas in my school. You can miss me with that bullshit. Like, nobody was giving you validation, nobody was giving you love, because you're dark. Bullshit. 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 It kills me when that shit happens, and you can kind of tell that those aren't the girls that were probably getting love, by other females. They weren't being friends with the popular girls, or the girls in the hood, or typical black girls. And that's why I kind of have to. That's why I'm questioning the video so much, because I don't see a lot of validity. I don't see a lot of validation in the video. I don't see how, she is being the mouthpiece for black men and black women. Crystal Valentine and Aaliyah Jihad. So I don't like that. You talk as if black men are these evil Mongols who just abuse black women because they don't fit into the standard of their beauty. They don't fit the standard of submission, you know. And even though my end was good, black men in my area, they were dating predominantly black women, but I will say, yeah, there was fuckery, there was mistreatment, but the thing was, they were young, they were young, doing stupid shit. I don't excuse being young, but, the relationships weren't perfect. But the thing was, the issues had nothing to do with skin tone. It had nothing to do with her being too dark. Yes, there were niggas out there who was like, man, I'm gonna get me them light skins, them red bones. Most of them niggas didn't even get them chicks. Niggas, they weren't bent out of shape. They weren't dying over it. That's just some hype that niggas tell themselves. And then they end up getting with a dark girl. Not because they were settling, it's just because it's just hype. It's just talk. It's not a big deal like all these girls are making it out to be. Shit. That's why, black men have to speak out against this. And that's how I've read some of the comments. I want to trust that black men are speaking out, but I just don't want to feel like they're trolls or just, white men pretending to be black and angry about it. But, I really have to be that voice of reason to say, hey, you have no validity, so I can't really trust you. I'm not going to deny your experience. Maybe you felt it, but the thing is that that's you. If you want to write a little story or poem of how you felt and how you felt being segregated because of your skin tone, you put yourself there. Don't put the majority of black people or black women, because the majority of black women aren't feeling all bent out of shape because of that. They're not, they're not all lonely as you think. I turn on my Facebook, tons of people are in relationships, tons of people are having babies, tons of people are in love. These black girls are not as damaged and lonely as the media wants them to think. So, she needs to get that record straightened out, because I don't like that she's representing black women when she's not the average black female. She's not average. I'm not saying like she's not cute. I mean, she's not average. She's not like the typical girl that you find in the black community. But that's all I gotta say.